Hi everyone, it's me Tanya again, and today I wanted to do a video sharing my PCOS story or polycystic ovarian syndrome story. I'm hoping that this video will help someone who may be experiencing the same thing, or someone who maybe have just received their diagnosis and they don't know what to do or where to start, or they may just be feeling like they're in it alone, or they don't know other people who have the same diagnosis or the same symptoms or struggles. You are not alone. It's a lot of women who suffer from polycystic ovarian syndrome. And for those who don't know, polycystic ovarian syndrome is a hormonal disorder that causes your ovaries to be enlarged, and you'll have small cysts on the outer edges of your ovary. Some people have them all over their ovaries. Some people have 1 and 2. Some people have like what they call a string of pearls, where it's like a string of them that go across your ovaries. So there's different versions of it. Everybody has different symptoms, but a lot of the same symptom. I know for myself, when I first found out I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, it was from me talking to my gynecologist, and I'll explain more about that experience. So some backstory or history about my cycles. I started my cycle when I was 12 years old. I was in middle school. I had my first cycle, and then it never came back. And then all throughout my teenage life, they were every 6 months, once a year. Maybe I'll have like every other month for just a second, and then it would just disappear again. They were just all over the place. I never had a regular cycle, throughout my teenage years, so I wasn't complaining about it. Let's be real. I was not looking for it, and my mind never clicked for me to say something is wrong, what is happening, where is my period. It was just like, oh, it didn't come, all right, and it just became the norm for me. So I didn't find out about having any cysts until I was about 17. I got sick and I started having issues with my appendix, and when I had to get an ultrasound done for my appendix, they noticed that I had a cyst on my ovary, and they did have me come back to check and make sure it shrunk and went away. It did. Nobody ever presented it to me like having cysts on your ovary was an issue, and for a lot of women it's not. Just because you have one does not mean that you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. For some of us, they come and go, and then for some of us, they come and they come and they come and they come, and you have to make lifestyle changes to kind of help the symptoms along a little bit. So yeah, 17, it wasn't a big deal. I never thought about it, and it didn't come back up again until I was about 21. I went for my regular gynecology appointment, my annual pap smear, and I talked to my gynecologist about extra hair growth that I had, my attitude right before my cycles would start. I would just have severe mood swings. It was out of control. Like, I would spaz out on any and everybody. I wouldn't care. And then after my cycle, I would be like, it wasn't even that bad, I'm sorry. And then I got tired of saying that I was sorry to people, and so I bought it up. And I also bought up my irregular cycles, and my doctor at the time was very nonchalant in telling me, it sounds like you have PCOS. And I was like, wait a minute, what? You just told me everything's normal. What does that mean? And she was like, oh, well, you probably won't be able to have kids, but that's all right. You're young, you don't need them anyway. And it was just like, what now? I don't think I heard you correctly. And yeah, she, you know, told me, you know, people with PCOS, you know, can't have children. And at the time I wasn't planning on it, but that was like a punch in the gut, because I'm like, you know, I'm not planning for them, but you know, I expect to have some someday. And so you know, she told me PCOS meant polycystic ovarian syndrome, and came back with like a little 3-fold pamphlet. Here you go. And that was that appointment, and I was devastated. It took me a minute to get over it, and I didn't really talk much about it to anyone in my family. I did talk to my mom about it, but nobody else was experiencing the same thing. And I come from a huge family where everybody's having kids all the time, and so it was just like, oh my God, what can I do? And so, you know, I just kind of got over it, and you know, adjusted to what kind of life I would potentially have later on in life. And that was that. About a year or so after that, I experienced really bad cramping, and I didn't know what was happening. I went to urgent care, and that's when I was referred to a fertility specialist just to check on my ovaries. They wanted to make sure, you know, my ovaries weren't like twisting, or you know, something wasn't going on that could be a real issue for me. So I booked that appointment, went, and I was so happy that I did go, because that doctor then explained to me that I would be able to someday have children. And she explained PCOS like down to a T. She did an ultrasound where I was able to see my ovaries. She then did blood work just to check on my hormones and give me an actual diagnosis of PCOS. There's no real test to take to diagnose PCOS. So yeah, those results came back, and you know, my hormones were off. And so, you know, you do have PCOS. And looking at my ovaries, she could tell there were cysts all over my ovaries. And from there, it was recommended for me to take birth control pills to regulate my cycles. And so birth control pills weren't really my jam. I wasn't good at taking it. I don't like taking pills in general, so it was just kind of like and then I didn't like the way it made my body feel either, so I left those alone. And then I wasn't, you know, trying to have kids anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me. And that was my thought process then. And it wasn't until I went to my new gynecologist about a year after that, where he explained to me more details about polycystic ovarian syndrome and taking birth control to regulate, you know, my cycles and stuff to keep my body on track. And I told him I wasn't good at the pills. He then gave me it was called the Implanon at the time. Now it's called Nexplanon. He told me it was a 3-year implant. You know, I wasn't planning on having kids, so it was all cool with me. I'll take it. I took that implant out, and then I got another one. And by that time, I had gotten married. We weren't planning on having any kids, and so it wasn't a big deal. It did slow down some of the hair growth for me, just a little, but not too much. It was still there. It did help tremendously with my outbursts, with my anger issues during that time of the month. And so for that, I was grateful that it helped regulate things there, because I didn't have those outbursts and stuff anymore. And the implant did make my my cycles disappear completely, but I knew that that was a side effect, and it didn't really bother me because, you know, I wasn't planning on having children or starting to, but I knew in the back of my mind that whenever I did, I would have some work to do. It wouldn't just be easy breezy for me. So yeah, after my second Implanon or Nexplanon was due to come out, I took it out, and I wanted to try things the natural way. And so it took 4 months for my cycle to start coming on. My body was doing all kind of like crazy stuff. I had tender breasts, I had cramping and stuff coming on throughout the 4 months. You know, I was waiting for my cycle to start naturally, and it was just crazy. I was like, what is happening? I know it's coming, and then it just would not show up, and I was like, oh my God. You know, my body just went nuts. It just went crazy after I took that Nexplanon. I know some people take it out, their periods start right away. Mine did not, and I struggled for 4 months with tender breasts on and off. I did have some acne and stuff showing up, and that's something that I also suffered from as a teenager because of the hormonal imbalance. And yeah, once my cycles came, they came regular up until, yeah, pretty much regular up until now. I just moved, and my diet has been out of control, and so my cycles have stopped, and I haven't been to the doctors yet because I just moved across country, and I need to make an appointment to see my new physician. And I'm pretty sure it's due to the way I've been eating. I haven't been eating healthy at all, and I haven't been exercising either, and those are two main things that help with the symptoms of PCOS when you're trying to work on it naturally. In the next couple months, I will be transitioning to a new diet and a new workout regimen, and hopefully that will help my cycles get back on track. So once my cycles and stuff get back on track, I plan on documenting my workout regimen. I want to start doing yoga a lot more, but when I'm not doing yoga, I want to get into a better routine of working out, and me and my husband both are going to be working on our eating habits because we have been eating sugar, which is not good when you have PCOS. It is not good at all. I've been eating sugar and fried food and no vegetables, and it's just been terrible. We have been going through a lot of life changes. We just bought a house. We just moved across country. We just had a big party at our house. It's just been crazy. We've been waiting on our furniture to come. It took the military a while to deliver our stuff, so what can I say? But with that being said, I did want to share a couple of resources that I thought would be helpful once I did stop taking birth control, and help me to transition and do things a little bit more natural. Was this one. Was this one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called the Period Repair Manual, Natural Treatment for Better Hormones and Better Periods. It's by Lara, Briden. I'll go ahead and link my resources down below. This one that I thought was helpful was A Patient's Guide to PCOS. Really helpful explaining PCOS. There's also websites and pages and stuff that I follow on Instagram that have helped me. One is this Smart Fertility Choices on Instagram. I find it very helpful. They do like every couple of months they do like the PCOS diet challenge or something like that. I've never done it. I plan to, because it's just a way of eating that can help your PCOS symptoms. and I think that's awesome. There's also a community of women. A lot of women are trying to conceive on that site, but a lot of women share a lot of other information that may be helpful if you're looking for ways to kind of ease the symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome just a little bit. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about me. If you have any extra additional questions for me, just leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. You can connect with me on Instagram as well. I'm on Instagram as love_Tanya. I'll leave it down below in the description box, and I will also list the resources that I mentioned in the description box as well. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, thumbs up this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.